Alexis, welcome to Riveter's Time Well Spent.
Hello there. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for having me.
I wanted to start with something that seems uniquely Alexis, which is patience.
Okay.
Tell me about the importance of patience in your period of time being unemployed.
I think that patience was really the hardest thing for me to conquer. Originally, I set out thinking that I was going to come back from this in a week and I was going to have an amazing job and I was going to show everybody. And that did not happen. The job market did not agree with that. And I had to make a conscious decision that I was going to get what I wanted, but in order to do so, I had to be patient. I had to wait for that right opportunity to come along. And I'm not going to lie to you, it became increasingly difficult to do that as the time went by, but it was worth it for sure.
What were some of the tricks or the people you talked to, or what got you through difficult times in unemployment?
This is super cheesy, but I am who I am, which is why I'm sitting here. So I am a quote person. Like I feel something, and if I'm really, really feeling it, I go on Pinterest and I search courage quotes, strength quotes, overcoming quotes, patience quotes. And those words kind of become my mantra for the day. I have an entire collection of them that I read often, but sometimes it's easier for others to articulate what I'm feeling. And then once I read it, I go, oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm feeling. And so that has really helped quite a bit.
When we were talking previously, you mentioned that unemployment for you, you made it a transformational period. That's the word you used, and it was very important for you to transform yourself. Tell me about that thought process and what that looked like for you.
So I liken me losing my job to a plane crash. I had no idea it was coming. I lost my friends and my family, my work family in the process. Um, and it was very traumatic. It really was. It was hurtful. I felt like they didn't value me, they didn't value my team, my contribution. And coming off of that, I was in a bit of a downward spiral. I mean, I was depressed and sad and then corona, right? So on top of all of these feelings, then you're stuck in your house and scared about the world and am I going to get sick and are my kids going to be okay and what about my husband's job? I mean, there's all these things that compounded. And I was in a pretty sad place, but trying to be strong, right? Because I needed a job. So I was going to put myself out there and network and all of these things. But I think that my feelings kind of manifested online in the sense of like, okay, well, what do you want to do? Well, I'm not really sure. You know, all of these things were coming out. And as the time went by, I started to realize that this was getting me nowhere. And ultimately, it started in my head. I mean, that was where all of this confusion and sadness and distress was coming from. And once I made that conscious decision to change that and to say, okay, let's figure out what do I want? What makes me happy? What do I need to do within the confines of my own house to make myself feel better? The minute I changed that framework, things started changing. The people that I met were different. The conversations that I had were different. The quality of the conversations was different. The energy that was initiated with these conversations was different. I had opportunities starting to come my way. I actually stopped applying for jobs at the end of March, beginning of April, which is crazy to think. And it was because people started thinking of me and they started referring me and I started to get leads. As time went by, again, I had this massive shift of, okay, now I'm in a good place, but I still don't have what I want. So what is it going to take to get me to that next level of my dream job? That's what I call it. My dream job, my ultimate kind of chupacabra. If I could pick anything that I was doing with who I was going to do it with, I needed to get there. And back to the patience, it's like, I literally told myself, okay, I have made it this far. If I have waited this long, why on earth would I give up and just take what I needed to take. And I know that not everybody's in that situation. I know that people are in very hard financial situations right now. Thankfully, I am in a position to where I could wait, and I was able to, and it paid off in ways that I literally had no idea, couldn't imagine. I mean, it just worked out amazingly well. So
Dig deeper into that, Alexis. You talked about you transformed your mindset, your framework. Like, where did you start unemployment? You know, the first couple of weeks, the first month are scary, uncertain. You might not have any guidance. And what was your impetus for this huge change?
I think I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with myself. I wasn't happy with my situation. And I think that I have enough kind of self-reflection that I understand that any change needs to come from within. And I will preach that until I'm blue in the face, that I am the only one that can change my life. Truly. I can complain to my husband. I can complain to my friends. I can complain, but they can't fix this for me. And the answer is not just a job. The answer is who I am as a person. I could have gotten a great job, but if I was still miserable and still not feeling great about myself, my performance would reflect that. And I was not happy with myself. So I started walking. I walk 4 miles a day in the morning. I call it, it's so cheesy, I call it my hour of power, my morning 4. And I walk along the Boise River, and it's my time. That's my time to think, to reflect. I come up with my ideas of what I want to post, because this is super exciting for me that now I have this LinkedIn family that I can connect with. And it's transformed my life. It's transformed my body, my mind, everything. It has made a huge difference. And then once you create that habit and that mental strength, the more you use that muscle, the stronger it gets. So the positivity piece, I mean, it was really hard for me at first. Like, I'm very grateful. I have so many things in my life that I know are more than I could even ask for, but that's different than being positive. You can be appreciative, but being positive is totally different. And it takes major mental strength to do that when things are not happening in the timeline that you want, which again goes back to the patience piece. So you have to kind of layer these different things in order to get to that level of, okay, I know what I want. I'm happy with myself. I realize why I'm waiting, and believing that ultimately things will come together. And you have to have that belief that there's a reason that you're going through all of this. I had no idea when I started what that reason was or how I was going to get through it. And then I look back at everything that I've experienced, everything that I've gone through, and I'm grateful, because I feel like I came out of this a much better person and happier, and with a role that I'm excited about and that I feel valued at, and all of these things. It's like, I didn't realize it at the time, but it was the best thing that could have ever happened.
That's very beautiful. A huge part of that, what you said just now and what we were talking about before, is about the importance of what other people can and cannot do for you. You know, other people cannot make you be a different person, but it's only other people that can help push you along. It's only other people that can give you that dream job you talked about. So tell me what other people did do for you and where you found them. What I know, you spent a lot of time networking. I know that led to a lot of positive interactions for you. I know you became a founding member of a growing group. What did other people do for you, Alexis, and where did they come from?
So, gosh, the list is endless, truly. I think I just want to start with the fact that I think that a lot of people are afraid to ask for help, or they're embarrassed. And the biggest message that I could give for people who are unemployed is, please don't be shy. Explain to people that you're looking for work. There are so many people out there who want to help. They might not know how, but they have that want. So some of the ways that people help me, I had people on LinkedIn that were connections that said, hey, you know, I really love your posts. Let's have a chat. So these chats, at first I was kind of like, okay, what are we going to chat about? Like, nice to meet you. But in our discussions, they got to know me more, and they started to think, okay, so based on what we've talked about, I should totally connect you to X person. And they would make that connection for me. And your web starts to widen, right? The branches of your tree start to expand because you're getting these connections. Other people, like, I have a couple of recruiters actually here in town who, they were dealing with COVID themselves. They lost all of their clients in an instant and they're slowly rebuilding. But I went to them saying, hi, can you help me get a job? They couldn't help me get a job, but what they did do is they gave me some incredible insight into the market and what they were seeing and what they were experiencing and what, even salary or, compensation. It was like, okay, well, I'm asking for this. Do you think that's too high? What do you think is kind of market rate? Because that was a huge thing too that I was facing is, no one wants to pay right now. And so having them as advocates and cheerleaders was huge, absolutely huge for me, for my mental state to really kind of keep that in my back pocket when I was dealing with people talking about roles and they were like, yeah, hi, and we're paying peanuts. And I'm like, okay, well, that's not market rate, but okay, so that was that. The other thing is joining groups of people that have common interests that I do. So there's a Thursday night sales call that I join. An amazing group of people who all want to help each other. I mean, it's not only learning, it is true, genuine connections where a lot of jobs come from that. And Rev Genius that you mentioned, so that's a group that was started by someone that I met on LinkedIn. He reached out to me when he was starting it and he said, hey, would you be interested? I said, yes. It transformed from a LinkedIn group chat to a group that's almost 5,000 people. And again, it's 5,000 people who want genuine connections, who share ideas. They share, job opportunities, but they also share themselves. And I think that that's kind of the biggest piece to this puzzle is that, yes, there are people who want to help you, but the way in which you approach that help is really, really important. And this is the one thing that, like, my piece of advice that I will share in this question. You should be building these relationships as if you are building a relationship with a friend. Like, I cannot stand when I get LinkedIn messages and someone goes, I would like to see how we can mutually benefit each other. Like, I don't even know you. We have no mutual beneficial anything right now. And I want to help people. Like, that is not a lie. I will be your cheerleader. I will be your advocate. I will send you links to jobs. I will have a call with you. I will do all of these things, but I want to know the real you. I don't want to know the fake LinkedIn you. Whatever I put on the internet is me. And I think that if you ask anyone who knows me in real life, in person, I wear my heart on my sleeve. I do what I say. I mean what I say. And I'm vulnerable. And that's okay, because I think that that vulnerability translates into, okay, I can trust her and I know she's not going to judge me. And I don't judge people. Whatever you want to do with your life, you do it. That's totally fine. If you think of a way that I can help you, let me know. I'm happy to help you. And I think that most people are in turn that way. It's the people who have this image that they're trying to portray, that's who gets stuck.
What did this new job that you got, this new opportunity that you just kind of teased a little bit on LinkedIn, where did that come from for you?
Yeah, so again, it goes back to these genuine connections. This job was never posted. It was essentially handcrafted for me and for I think the words that they used were my capability and my character, which I loved. And also it's really interesting. So I really believe in manifestations. Like, what you put out in the universe is what will return to you. So before this job was ever on my radar, I set my mission, which was to help others find jobs. Like, throughout this entire 4.5 months, that is kind of what I got out of all of this, is like, the power of my words have the ability to inspire. And so if I can continue to do that for people, even after I get hired, even, a year down the road, 2 years down the road, I'm going to keep doing that. So that was kind of my mission. And then when I looked at my LinkedIn headline, which again, I wrote prior to this role, using communication to build relationships and revenue in dynamic organizations, that is literally exactly what I will be doing. So I accepted a role as the manager of employer partnerships for Aspireship, which is a company that not only helps train people who want to see if they're interested in SaaS account executive roles. That's one side of it. And then the other side of it is really the partnering with companies who will then hire these quality candidates and also upskill their current sales team. So In my eyes, it's a win-win. It's a mission-driven company that matches my own passion, my own mission, my own core set of values. One of their questions when I had applied for a different role within their company was, which of our core values do you identify with most? And respect and trust was the first one on their list. And that is ultimately like how I build any relationship in my life is respect and trust. So to see that, I'm like, again, check my list. Like, this is perfect. I can't believe it.
Alexis, you are this bundle of positivity and inspiration. You mentioned that you upped your LinkedIn game, and you certainly did. I want to finish off this conversation by reading my favorite LinkedIn post of yours and just getting your version of what it meant to you. You said you changed your LinkedIn background to "My comeback will be stronger than my setback." Here's why. I lost a job, but gained my life back. I was living to work, not working to live. Life needs balance, and I need my work to be a manifestation of my passions. 2, I've surrounded myself with positive influences. My cheer squad is mighty. 3, every day I work to conquer my fears: fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of wrong decisions. It was not easy to get to this point of clarity. It took a lot of self-reflection and tough conversations with those who care enough to be real with me. But deep down, I'm a resilient woman, and holy smokes, I cannot wait to be able to say, I found Ikigai. I found the role that ticks all of my boxes, and most importantly, helps others in the process. That is Tony Robbins better watch his back, Alexis, because that is powerful stuff. Tell me, when you were writing that, what did that mean to you?
Again, it was this point of clarity for me. Point one was I was working in a role that at the time, I felt like I was doing great things, but really when I look back, I was passionate about the people that I was working with, but I wasn't passionate about the work that I was doing. And that, it honestly makes me sad because for so long I felt like, I'm going to do great things and I'm going to get this title and I'm going to get a raise and I'm going to, but it had nothing to do with who I was as a person and where my values lied and where my passions lied. It was a job in a fun company with amazing, brilliant people. Don't get me wrong, but it wasn't a manifestation of who I was. And so my hindsight and in losing my job is, again, you look back and you go, wow, how did I go for that long and not realize that? So that was kind of that piece of it. The Mighty Cheer Squad, I mean, I cannot express how much gratitude I have for the people who have helped me along the way. The strangers, I mean, complete strangers who have reached out to me and said, how can I help you? Hey, I know so-and-so's hiring. Would you like me to make an introduction? Sending me job posts that, in my humble opinion, are like above and beyond my skill set. But, they're like, hey, I can hook you up. Let me talk, have you talk to this person. And even LinkedIn, I mean, just people commenting on my posts, liking my posts, messaging me, like that honestly kept me going. And I know it sounds kind of silly to have this like online family, but I really feel like that. Like there are genuine people out there who I might not know in person, but they care. I was even like a little hesitant to post my teaser post today about, hey, guess what? I got a job. I can't wait to share. Because I'm thinking, are people going to roll their eyes and go, gosh, why can't you just tell us what it is? But instead, I got so much positivity and people were like, oh my gosh, we can't wait to hear. Like, we're so happy for you. That touches me. And I can't even explain it. It just like makes my heart so happy. So there's that piece. And then the last, number 3, what was number 3? Remind me?
You conquered your fears.
Yes, conquering my fears. So, and I think my last comment is, you see, I am who I am. And it's very hard for me to hide really who I am at the core. And sometimes people don't like that. Sometimes there's judgment and there's comments or, negative influences that come along with that. And I think that honestly, that has kind of been my biggest fear this whole time is like, what do people think about me? What if they think I'm this, or what if they assume that? And once I'm able to say like, I don't care, like I am me and take it or leave it, I have attracted the most positive, happy, amazing people, both as friends, as colleagues. I mean, I could not ask for more. And so overcoming that fear has been huge. Highly recommend it.
I love it. Alexis, thank you so much for sharing your story, your positivity, both with us here and all over the internet with your internet family. We appreciate it, and I think the world needs it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.